Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting. I appreciate you being here at the channel today. And for those of you that have not yet done so, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. And if you find the content that I provide beneficial, please hit that like button as well. Now, in addition to that, for you folks that have topics you'd like to see discussed here on the channel, if you have things that you're struggling with, you like to hear me talk about, please feel free to drop that information in the comments below. You can email me direct. My email is in the description box below, and you can also hit me up on Twitter at Jim Consultant, GYM Consultant, and perhaps your information will be the next topic that we explore here on the channel. Now, our topic for you today is 5 ways to boost your gym sales career. 5 ways to boost your gym sales career. Now, number 1 is you want to be asking yourself, hey, what can I do better? What can I do better? Okay, is it generating leads? I mean, I talk to a lot of sales folks and they write some sales, but they're kind of dependent upon, it kind of happening naturally. They're really not producing. So maybe they could do a better job of that. Can we do a better job of lining up our days, daily appointments? What's our closing percentage look like? How are we doing on the second sale? How are we doing on selling personal training or selling retail? What's our follow-up percentage look like? But when you analyze this, I like to look at this, what am I doing well and what am I not? What are my strengths? And what are my weaknesses? Every day I look at this. Every week we look at this. Every month we look at this. And we want to make sure we're getting better. Okay? So constantly asking yourself, what can I do better? I know a lot of times, simply, hey, what scares you the most? Is it asking for the sale? Is it picking up the phone, making the outbound call? What is it? Is it approaching a merchant for some kind of merchants program? But constantly be asking yourself, what can I do better? And then take action on it. All right, so that's number 1 on how you can boost your gym sales career. Number 2, set yourself a clear goal every single day. Set yourself a clear goal every single day. And one of my favorite stories on this, I've shared this in some prior videos, but this was relative to me when I was first starting out in the industry and went through a period of really struggling at this. And I remember, the first day that I got 3 sales in a day. Okay, and it was just kind of the tumblers kind of clicked in place for that, right? And so I got 3 sales in a day, which was a pretty good performance. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm kind of wiping the brow, like, okay, pressure's off for a few days because, hey, 3 sales is pretty good. And so I can, maybe not go 100% and I'll be okay. If I don't make a sale or 2, I'm okay. And I'll never forget when I was leaving that night, manager comes out from around the desk, extends his hand. He goes, hey, Jim, congratulations. I saw that you made 3 sales every day, or 3 sales today. And I shook his hand. Yes, sir, I sure did. Thank you very much. And then he just kind of holds up his hand like a stop sign. He goes, now, Jim, that's the kind of production that I need from you every day. And I thought, oh, okay. And I didn't really know that. I was kind of in survival mode a little bit, and I hadn't really thought about that. So he's telling me that's the kind of production he needs from me every day. And so he needs 3 sales a day. And I remember thinking, oh, well, I need to get on the stick here if that's what it is. And, the fascinating thing is I did that. And I don't know that I was necessarily all that great to begin with. I just started working toward that goal, and that's the goal I had to hit, and I got better and better at it. But if you take 3 sales a day, if you got 30 days in a month, and if that's what you're averaging, that's 90 sales. Start thinking about that. So set a very clear goal for every day. How many new leads do you want to generate every day? Okay, how many outbound calls? One of my favorite stories, I remember a client we were working with, and we were doing really well. And I walked in one day, and one of the reps, she comes up to me, and she goes, Jim, I need your help. She goes, I need for you to keep everybody away from me today, because my commitment is I'm going to talk to 100 people. I'm going to work the phones. I want to talk to 100 people today. Pretty clear goal, right? Nice one, too. Okay, so set a clear goal for each day that you work. Number 3, keep track of your progress. Keep track of how you're doing. How are your sales? How are your recurring dues? How is your cash? How is your closing percentage? How is your lead generation? How is your point of sale referrals? Keep track of your progress. Know your numbers. Because just like we do in the gym itself, you want to do it yourself, is you want to manage yourself based on these objectives. Track your progress. How are you doing? Is the graph going up or is it going down? Okay, it needs to be going up, right? Because we're either getting better or we're getting worse. There's no other option. Okay, we're getting better or getting worse. So make sure you're tracking your progress every single day and just be disciplined to it. Okay, I know it's easy and fun to do it when things are going well, but hey, when it's not going so well, take a look at that, and then we want to understand why. And I know a lot of clubs, a lot of individual salespeople, they'll use this channel for that. Use this channel to, hey, let's get some feedback. Let me get some understanding of where I'm at in terms of things like this. Number 4, have a story to tell. Tell an effective story. What story do you have that can resonate with your customers? And again, one of my favorite stories that comes from someone that I worked with. She ran a club, for one of our clients, and the story goes, she had a book on her desk, and I asked her one day what that book was, and she goes, "Oh, well, Jim, you haven't seen that." I said, "Well, no, I haven't." She goes, "Well, that's my fat book." She goes, "Take a look at it." And what it was a pretty good sized book, and it's a little bit of a story of a lot of years, of 20 years of her life there as an adult, of going from cheerleader to gaining some weight and gaining a fair amount of weight, and then losing it and eventually becoming a champion power lifter. And it was a marvelous story, okay, of determination and focus and that. And I said, "Well, how do you use that book?" And she was saying, "Hey, when it's appropriate, when folks come in, they'll go over the book, they'll look at it together, flip through each page, kind of talk about it." And she goes, "And we both of us would sit there and cry, and then they'd join." Okay, but that was her story. That's that story that she put out there. What's your story? Okay, tell an effective story. So think about that one. And if you don't have your story, you share other stories, okay, that you're aware of, okay? And then number 5, record yourself. I remember when I was first learning sales and, was not very good at it, and they'd handed me like a 3-ring binder. It was about, I don't know, 1.5 inches thick. It's pretty thick. And they said, "Jim, just memorize this and you'll be fine." Okay? And so, okay, if that's all that it is, I can do that, okay? And I'd go home every night, I'd stand in front of the mirror, I'd have the recorder going, and I'd be looking in the mirror, make sure I had good eye contact, and I had the recorder going, make sure I was speaking clearly here, and at least coming across confident, so I'd play it back to make sure all that was true. And so I could listen to myself, I could watch myself, and it made all the difference in the world. And for me, memorizing that information, recording myself, listening to it, here's how other people are going to perceive this, I know for me, my sales changed dramatically in just a 30-day period. Okay, I went from being maybe dead last out of 4 clubs to being number 1 out of 4 clubs. So made quite a bit of difference. So 5 ways that you can boost your gym sales career. Ask, what can I do better? Every day, what can I do better? Set a clear goal for each day. Keep track of your progress. Find an effective story to tell. If you have one, great. If you don't have one, let's find one. A third-party story would be good. And then record yourself. How do you sound to folks? Okay? And take a look at these. We want to boost your sales career. We want to help you get better. And if you're in a management role, take a look at these kind of things, because these are things that we can use to help train and develop our existing staff, because if we're in a management role, our job is to develop new people and help them become better at what they do. So folks, my name is Jim Thomas. I appreciate you being here today. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. You can learn more about my company in the links below and different ways to connect. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in that next video.